This is the first episode of the Hangout with me, Brian Wotherspoon, and my co-host Cam Leblanc. We're just going to be talking ball, talking about basically anything. So we'll see how this goes. All right. It is November 28th. It's Thanksgiving while we record this. I think we're going to start posting every Wednesday, I believe. So here we go. Let's talk about some college football. The 12-team playoff came out Tuesday with Oregon number one, I believe Texas number two. Nope, yeah, Texas number two, Miami three, Boise State four, and then you have Notre Dame, SMU, Penn State, Indiana, Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State, and Arizona State in that 12-team playoffs. Um, I didn't really have many problems with it. I really don't think Boise State should be in, to be honest. I know their first loss was against Oregon and it was a close one, but they almost got beat by Wyoming. And so I honestly think they're gonna lose to UNLV on Saturday. Um 2 Saturdays from now, because I believe that's the Mountain West championship. But what do you think?
Yeah, it's tough with Boise State. When you go to group of five, you got to look at other teams. I guess Tulane maybe is a possibility that been throwing their name around.
Yeah, I like Tulane. They've been playing real well, but then you could always say they have the loss to Kansas State, I believe, and they
Yeah, they
have the
took a
loss to
tough one early
Oklahoma.
in the year.
Yeah. What I really didn't like, uh, it feels like they're like pushing Bama to go into the playoff,
They're
which
trying hard.
they're trying real fucking hard. They're I think it's them and Clemson with the two teams out. I mean, I really don't think Alabama has any chance of they shouldn't have any chance of getting in. It's kind of just like they're looking at the logo on the side of the helmet and saying, "Yeah, let's throw them in." But they
That's
have
kind
three
of like,
losses.
yeah, that's like the whole thing with the Big 12 though too. It's kind of like it can get even more messy. Like, how do you put some of these Big 12 teams in there? Like, you can get a 3-win or 3-loss Big 12 champion in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think can't like even Kansas State has a chance to go make the Big 12
Yeah,
championship. So,
like
but I think in my perfect world, I think I think Miami's are frauds too. But we'll see what happens with them with Syracuse this week. But I think in a perfect world, three ACC teams make it with SMU, Miami, Clemson, and then I don't know. That's either going to get rid of Boise State or it's going to. I don't think, or we can have a chance where there's no Big 12 in the in the
yeah,
in the playoffs. But
because I
I
don't know
mean,
if they'll keep a group of five. I don't know if they'll keep a group of five out of this one. Like
I
first
don't
round,
know.
they're gonna go with
The Big
somebody.
12 so bad, so bad.
It's
They're,
horrible.
yeah, like you have
Great to
can't.
watch.
Yeah, no, it's great to watch. And Arizona State almost fucking blew it against
Yeah,
BYU, storming the fucking field before the clock ran out, throwing the ball up in the air. I don't know what the thought process was behind that. That was ridiculous. But yeah, so I mean, I thought Indiana honestly was going to drop a little bit more, but obviously the mayhem in the SEC that happened
yeah.
at the back end of the slate really helped them out. But if you were if you were a team, if this was what we were going into, who would you want to play right now, you think?
I would want to play. I think Miami's kind of one of those lower teams that
Yeah.
you could go get a Miami round one and be okay. You might be able to take that Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's playing really good football, but they also really
Yeah.
competition isn't great. So
Mm,
you might be able to go get like Notre Dame. And I
yeah.
would play like a team like that. Say
Yeah,
like
no.
and then I mean, obviously, like whatever Big 12 team makes, I think is just inferior compared to a lot of these other schools. So
I know. Yeah, I think they next year they got to get rid of the automatic buys for conference champions because as it sits right now, and it's also fixed. So like if say like an Arizona State upsets Ohio State, it doesn't get reorganized where they play the one seed. They'll play Boise State. So you really have Ohio State. If it went to playoffs now, they'd play or Arizona State, whoop their ass, and then go play Boise State, whoop their ass, and then go play either Oregon, Georgia, or Tennessee in the semifinals. So like I don't know, it's fucking
yeah,
I think that's my one thing that they need to change next year. But I don't know, man. I with you talking about Notre Dame not playing anybody, I've seen a lot. Obviously, I'm a Texas fan, and people have been talking shit about how's Texas playing, how
yeah,
who they played and stuff like that. And you see it like even the analysts the other day were talking about like Reese Davis and on ESPN. We're talking about Notre Dame, Texas, and Indiana, even like Penn State. They really haven't played anybody either.
yeah,
But what my biggest gripe is if Texas drops a game, hopefully it's not this week. If they drop a game in the conference championship, there'll be a two-loss team and they'll be like they didn't really play anybody. But one thing Texas has done is they haven't slipped up anywhere. They played Georgia, they got their ass beat. But they
yeah,
played Kentucky, beat their ass. They when Ole Miss got beat by Kentucky, they beat Oklahoma, they beat Vandy. Both those teams beat Alabama. I just don't. I see it on like social media a lot. People are like, "Oh, Texas hasn't played anybody," but Texas also hasn't slipped up at all. So, but
yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Kind of just like what you said. Like you said, they just have done the right thing. Like obviously they haven't
yeah,
played, but they haven't gone and like lost to a bad team here. Like
yeah,
you said, they
yeah.
didn't take
It's
a loss to Vandy or Oklahoma like half these
hmm
other schools. Ole Miss drops one to Kentucky. Like like
yeah.
Texas didn't do that. So like
Yeah, it's kind of like like Indiana. Like, yeah, they didn't look like a top five team. They don't even. I
yeah,
honestly, they honestly like. I've been high on Indiana all year, but like they didn't even look like a playoff team.
they
But
kind
just
of I think they turned into America's team for a couple weeks here towards cut
yeah,
leading up to this Ohio State game. Everybody wanted them to. They're getting a lot of hype, undefeated, and then you kind of get, and then it was like, oh shit, we actually got to play Ohio State.
yeah. No, and I feel like Ryan Day kind of slowed up at the end. Like obviously they scored that late touchdown, but like besides that, I feel like that game could have been like they could have rang like 50 up
Yeah,
on the scoreboard. But yeah, man, that's about it. I'm kind of happy that I still don't understand why they have Miami over SMU when in
yeah,
the standing SMU is above them. So
yeah,
that doesn't make any sense to me. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my biggest gripes with the playoffs. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy week. We have a bunch of it's rivalry week, so anything can happen. So let's do some previews and picks. Got a couple games here. The first game I was talking about is Clemson versus South Carolina. Big rivalry down there. I think the spread, I checked it last night. I think it's still uh, -3. Um, and the over under is 49. Um, I honestly think Clemson's going to cover. I think if Clemson wins this game, they're in the playoffs. There's some delusional South Carolina fans out there that think that if they win this game, they have a chance to
yeah.
make playoffs. But like it's just the SEC. Like I'm a Texas fan. I love the SEC, but there's some delusional ass fans out there that think that like you can get in with three losses, especially when Ole Miss and Alabama beat you. So there's no way you're going to jump them by just beating Clemson. But yeah, I think I'll take Clemson to cover. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this spread's a little too tight. I think I would roll Clemson. I'm on the Clemson side here.
Mm,
I I, I think South, like you said, South Carolina is kind of getting too few points here. Maybe it's because they're at home,
yeah,
but I think
yeah.
yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
Clemson can
I
kind
kind
of
of,
go there.
yeah, I kind of believe in. Like, I know they had some stinkers late, but I really believe in Dabo Sweeney. I think he's like kind of turned it around here, especially with no NIL or any transfer portal people, which is
Kind of
kind of
crazy.
insane nowadays. But yeah, I think Cade Klubnik's gonna have a great game. I know he's been
It's two
hot
and
and
a
cold.
half, 2.5, and it's at Clemson. Yeah, I like Clemson here. This is two and a
Yeah,
half. I'll take the 2.5 all day for Clemson at home.
yeah. I think I'm right there with you, man. I don't see them dropping that game, and I'm also surprised it's not a night game. I know
Yeah,
we have Texas A&M at night, but
like you said, I understand what South Carolina's trying to do, trying to make a case they can be in it in the playoff. Like Clemson actually needs to make a they can't lose. Like they're fighting for
yeah,
the championship coming up. So
yeah,
yeah, and they need a like a Miami loss. So I don't I see that Clemson coming out hot and ready to go.
yeah. No, I agree with that too. All right. So the next game I have on there is Tennessee versus Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
The spread is Tennessee minus 11. The over under is 48 and a half. I
yeah.
think Vanderbilt's going to cover.
I like Vanderbilt here covering and on the money.
Yeah, I know. There's
I think
something about it.
Tennessee. I think Tennessee's just a fraudulent top 10 team. Like you
Yeah,
said, like they're one of those teams that are seventh in the country and have three losses, like kind of just thrown in there. Like
I don't like. What would you do with playoffs if they lost that win over Bama?
I would rather see a. I would be okay. SMU takes one loss to BYU, and then you get so say they can go all the way to the championship without a
Mhm.
loss. Like I would take an SMU, I'd take a Miami, and I'd take a Clemson all over a
Would you
Tennessee.
put a Would you put a Big 12 team over them,
I would take one Big 12 again, one
like a
the
two
right
loss?
one. I don't know which team I would exactly go with right now. I do think
Yeah,
Colorado could obviously go shake some things up. I think they would probably have the best chance just because of their star power being like they obviously got Hunter and
yeah,
Sanders and Horn's a really good receiver, so they can obviously go put up some points. It's just
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
I
know if
don't know.
that would be the right pick. Again, their defense is still kind of shaky. Like I don't know, maybe
Mm.
go with the Big 12 team was the best defense. So
Yeah, yeah. That would be insane. I think there's gonna be there was a lot of chaos last week, but I think it's either gonna go two ways. I think all the favorites are gonna win, or it's gonna be absolute mayhem. There's gonna be no in between. So, but
yeah, I
all
like
right,
it.
yeah, I like Vandy as well. Um, then I got Auburn versus Alabama, the Iron Bowl. Crazy shit happens in that game every year. Alabama coming off a loss, Auburn coming off a great win from over Texas A&M, that four overtime win. Alabama is minus 11 and a half. The over and under is 52 and a half. Um, I think this is always going to be played tight. I think Alabama isn't the Alabama of old. Obviously, I don't think Kellen DeBoer is on the hot seat, but I think it's definitely getting a little bit warm, even though it's his first year. I think Auburn covers here because I think Hugh Freeze as an underdog, I think he has a good game plan, but when he's a favorite, he shits the bed. So I'm taking Hugh Freeze here as the underdog at 11 and a half.
Yeah, I do like that. I don't know if I'll like touch it. I don't I'm kind of like
Yeah, that's still a game time decision on this game. This is like out of all of them this week, definitely the hardest pick I
I
think I
mean,
could
also
make.
Freeze is also, I think, kind of on his way out. So you just might go out like guns blazing and trying
Yeah.
to go. He doesn't care what the hell happened.
Uh-huh.
He's
Yeah.
gonna go out and try and beat Bama. So
Yeah. So I'm just hoping for an entertaining ball game. I'm kind of hoping Auburn wins because I really don't want to see Alabama in the playoff.
yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
Sankey
that'd be
Sankey's gonna
crazy.
try and get him in, but
That'd be a
uh,
crazy first year with the 12 team, and you don't see Alabama rolling in. That would be crazy.
yeah, it would be awesome.
Would be
Um,
nice to see.
hmm All right, next game I have, we're kind of jumping all over the slate here. Michigan versus Ohio State. Obviously, heated rivalry. Ohio State kind of owns Michigan. The last 3 years, though, Michigan has beat them. Michigan obviously doesn't look like a football team this year. Uh, Ohio State is minus 20 as of right now, and the over under is 42 and a half. I'm kind of thinking Ohio State's going to cover. I think Ryan Day,
Yeah.
like he's been coming out, I think a day ago, he came out on a press conference talking about how tough the last 3 years are, and you could kind of see it in his eyes that he wants to absolutely obliterate Michigan. And if now is the time to do it too, because I don't think Will Johnson isn't playing.
Yeah, he's out the year.
Also, yeah, so he's sitting the bench. So he I think Ohio State's gonna come out and just punch Michigan in the face. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'll take OSU to cover.
I'm right with you. I know we haven't had much differences in these picks here.
Yeah, no,
I,
yeah,
like again, I think you kind of said it perfectly. I think Ohio State comes out here and just rolls them, puts Michigan like 3 years of just Michigan running the ball down your throat, playing some great defense, kicking your
yeah,
ass. You finally get a chance to just whoop their ass at home. I like Ohio
yeah,
State.
yeah, yeah. Especially like I know Ohio State has all the transfers and things like that, but there's some like key seniors that stayed because they wanted to beat Michigan on that team. So yeah, I think they're gonna absolutely roll
Yep.
them. The next game I have on here is Miami versus Syracuse. Not really a rivalry game, but it's definitely has some college football playoff implications to it. Miami, I think, is getting way too many points here. Um, I think they're minus 11, and it's 67 and a half on the over and under. Um, Kyle McCord, besides that terrible game against Pittsburgh, he's had a pretty good season. I think him and Cam Ward are the 1 and 2 in passing yards, I believe. I think Syracuse. I don't know where you're going to go with this, but I think Syracuse is going to cover. I think Miami's a fraud. I don't think their offense is great, but I think they rely too much on Cam Ward digging them out of holes. Their defense isn't really there, and Cuse, they have a great first. I think it's his first year head coach, or maybe second year. Um, Dude doesn't shower when he loses, so I think he's gonna do everything he can to win. So
Yeah, I definitely like the over here. I think a lot of points can be scored. And I think I like Miami on the 10.5. I just think
okay,
Syracuse is a little too inconsistent for me to go try and bet them covering points.
they're
Like,
in the dome. They're in the dome.
yeah, I know, but like again, I took UConn to cover on them last week, and they gave up a backdoor touch, like late touchdown.
Yeah.
Boom, UConn gets the cover late. Like, they're just like too inconsistent. Again, they go out and beat UNLV like a month
hmm
ago, like in a crazy overtime game, and then
Yeah.
but then they go and get like blown out by Pitt, and it's
Yeah. No, that was bad. That was real
like
bad.
Pitt's now completely falling apart as a football team.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know
But
where like I think Syracuse can kind of be like they're kind of in the middle, like they're just so inconsistent.
I just think Miami, they have covered like big spreads, but they're all like obviously they covered them, but I think they're fraudulent covers. Like I had Duke a couple weeks back. Duke was down by a touchdown, and next you know they put up 21 points, and they I missed the cover. Last week, Wake Forest was with them all the way to the fourth quarter, and then they turned it on. I think Syracuse is better than both those teams. Um, so I guess we'll see. We'll see at 3:30 what Miami we're gonna get.
Yeah, I was
Definitely
trying
would.
to see like the record against the spread on FanDuel. Like I cannot tell the difference. I'm just staring at. I don't know if there's like a glare. Look at that. They're the exact same color. I don't know which
Oh, that's bad. That's
I
bad.
don't know which one is
Yeah, no,
which.
no, no. I use the Action app.
Yeah, I don't. I'm
Yeah,
just kind of as we're talking about the game. That's
yeah,
why I'm scrolling on here. So
yeah. I know. Yeah, definitely confusing.
they didn't
I think
change the logo, nothing. Like just orange.
I think this game will be a game time decision, like the Auburn game for me. But I'm really swaying towards Syracuse. All right,
I'll I'll probably touch the points if anything. I
it's a
like again.
lot of points. That's a lot of points.
It is.
67. Um, Next game, uh, has another. It's another big rivalry game.
Yep.
Um, really, really has conference. I mean, I don't know. It has playoff issues with it, but I don't think too much. It's Notre Dame versus USC. There's some people out there that think if Notre Dame drops this game, they'll still get in. Some people think if they lose this game, they shouldn't get in. They've only played really academy teams and then lost to NIU. But I think the spread is Notre Dame 7.5. Over under is 51 and a half. I don't know. It's in California. I'm kind of thinking Lincoln Riley's on the way out. Kind of how we were talking about Hugh Freeze. I I
Yeah.
think I think he might go guns blazing and just go balls to the wall.
Yeah, I like Notre Dame here on the points. I think I don't think USC's got it. I like Miller Moss, obviously. I think he's a good player. Obviously, it's my boy Link. I don't know. I'm going
Yeah,
against
no, yeah, yeah.
I
Lincoln,
I
Link,
just I just think USC just doesn't have the guys anymore. They're like they've never really had the guys and
yeah. The
they're
Notre Dame defense has been so good, and I think Jeremiah Love is very, very good.
yep.
But
I
I don't
think
know.
like, Xavier Watts is like the best football player in the world. He's so good on defense.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of swaying towards USC. I'm picking a lot of the underdogs this week, but kind of hoping for chaos. It's also they have to Notre Dame has to travel like two time zones to go play them, so maybe that helps out. I mean, a lot of teams this year, I think we saw it in the Big Ten. The Big Ten had a lot of problems going
Yeah.
two time zones away, so I'm kind of hoping that it stays on the side. I think they're given might be giving USC too much respect with the 7.5, but we'll see. I'm kind of hoping USC has some fight left in them. I
Yeah.
don't know, like Lincoln Riley. I honestly don't think they have the boosters at USC to like buy him out. So
Yeah, he's getting a lot of money, out there.
yeah, yeah. So I'm not too sure, but yeah, that's my thought on the game. And finally, the last one I got Texas versus Texas A&M. Wait a second, my dog came downstairs and I had to bring her back up. Harley running down here. All right. So Texas A&M. I'm like, very excited for this game as a Texas fan. Haven't had this rivalry in a long time since 2011 when Justin Tucker kicked that field goal to win the game. The spread is minus 5.5 Texas, I believe. And the over and under is 48.5. I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you go first. I'm still I have a lot to say about this game. So
Yeah, I think A&M was one of those teams. They just Elko's a good coach. Like I think they just got a lot of early respect here. Again, kind of how we were talking earlier in the show. With Texas just doing their job. I think Texas coming out gets it done tomorrow. Sark's going to go out. Obviously, Sark's looking to make a statement and try and prove some of these people wrong, and I think he can do exactly that tomorrow or
Yeah,
Saturday. Sorry, I think he can
yeah,
come out and just. Obviously, Ewers is good. Like they can come out and just dominate this team up front. I think like running the ball, they got some good run schemes. Like they run good counter out there. Like
hmm
they can come out and just handle A&M.
yeah,
I'm gonna be on Texas. I don't think I'm not a big fan of A&M actually. That's
yeah,
personal opinion. I don't know if I'm letting like my personal beliefs get into the too involved here.
yeah,
Maybe you as well, but I just
yeah.
don't.
No,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I'm definitely getting my personal beliefs in it. I think as a Texas fan, I think there's been like how we talked about in the beginning of the show. I think there's a lot of slander on Texas. Like it's kind of bullshit. Like I know they haven't played anybody. We also lost to Georgia, I think by 15 or maybe 16, I believe. Our defense was in our own on our own 30 like six times that game. So it could have been a lot worse. Our offense couldn't get anything going. We created three turnovers. What people don't talk about is that like I know like South Carolina has a great defense. I know Ole Miss has a good front. Even Texas A&M has a good front, and obviously Georgia. Oh, what? All right, we're good. We're good. We're back. All right,
There we go.
fuck it. First episode. Always going to be some complications. Yeah. So where I was at, Texas's defense. Like people don't like they're one of the top defenses in the SEC. They have, I believe, they're in the top three in turnovers. I think they're in the top three in points allowed. Like so, I like people really don't talk about it. They really talk about like oh Quinn Ewers. They talk about the running backs Windsor and Blue Gunnar Helm, the tight end. But they don't really talk about the defense that much. So I think like you said, Elko is a great coach, but I think people have been riding on Texas A&M and thinking that Texas hasn't proved anything. Um, and to be honest, in this rivalry, like I'm not going to say it doesn't matter. Like obviously OU is our biggest rival at Texas. Um, we were basically big brother in this rivalry. They left the conference because we would beat them so much, and they couldn't really get underneath out from underneath us. Um, so a lot of people on the internet talking shit, saying how Texas A&M is like can't wait to play Texas. How what they're gonna do. Kyle Field this that Kyle Field that night. Texas has been in big games. They went to playoffs last year. They went to Tuscaloosa. They beat Nick Saban both times the last 2 years. Like like I think Texas is going to come out with something to prove, and I think they're going to win this game. And I think they're going to cover 5.5. So I think it's way too small. But
Yeah.
that's uh that's my like I have a record here. They have I believe the overall record of this rivalry is Texas leads 76-37. So I think nothing changes here. I think I'm kind of getting my beliefs in the way. I think, um, but this might slap me in the face when it comes around Saturday. But I really think Texas is going to win, and they're going to win by a lot. I think they're going to cover uh, -5.5. All right.
Yeah, I
So
think the
that's
only way I end up on A&M side is if they run out Johnny Manziel on Saturday. Then I'm betting Texas A&M.
yep, yep.
Give me
That
money Manziel any day of the week. That can
yeah,
cost.
no. I think yeah. I don't think they have enough to take on Texas. I think their O line's nasty. People are saying Quinn might not play. He's playing. He's gonna play. He's a gamer. We'll be there. So that's that. You have anything else for college football?
I'm good. I think we did a good job there.
All right, perfect. Let's head into the NFL slate. Obviously, we're recording this on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We kind of have a stinker of a slate today. I'm kind of happy that be driving during the first game because I think it's going to be a blowout. It's the Lions versus the Bears is the first game of the day. We have Detroit minus 10, over and under 47 and a half. Plain and simple, I think Detroit is going to absolutely murder the Bears. And I think I'm going to take the over as well. So that's where I stand.
It's always a safe bet there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Lions, like, out of all the teams in the NFL right now, I think they're hit them and the Eagles are my favorites to win the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be either one of them. So I think the Lions cover here, and I think I'm going to take the over. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it's 9.5. The Bears do kind of claw back, but I think Eberflus is a horrible coach. I think
Oh, he's so bad.
he needs to be fired before if the Bears want to have a chance of winning multiple games. So
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
I think I think the Lions DBs though, I think their secondary is very good. I think, like Brian Branch is solid. I think Kirby Joseph's really good. You got to be careful. I think the Lions just get a little got to be a little careful playing a lot of that two-man look and having Terry on Arnold pressed up and playing man on these receivers though.
Yeah,
That's
this yeah,
get them in some trouble today. Is
yeah. They're
if
also
you
missing
Caleb
like yeah, they're also missing their pass rush with Hutch and then
100%.
um what's his name? Long-haired guy. Alon.
No, he's on the Anzalone's gone. Long haired guy.
Yeah, no, he's on the team. He's on the lines. I think he got injured I think he fractured his arm
Oh wow.
or something like that. Something crazy. I may be talking out of my ass, but I believe he's on the Lions and he was the green dot on the field. So I don't know. Maybe the Bears have a chance, but I think the safe bet is
Yeah, I would lean Bears covering the 9.5. And like I said, I
yeah,
think it could be a high scoring game, so I'd probably touch the over, but
yeah. All right. That leads us into our next game. Real bad stinker. The Giants and the Cowboys. Perfect game in the middle of the day to take a nap after you're done eating. Um, Giants, there's really nothing much to say. They're awful, terrible franchise. Um, Drew Lock is starting though. I saw that.
I do
They're
like
Yeah, I do like Drew Lock here. I think the Cowboys are also in the same boat. They need to get rid of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones his old ass needs to step down. Um, yeah, I think it's going to be a shitty game, but it's Dallas minus 3.5. Over under is 37 and a half. I'm probably not going to touch this game in real life. If I had to, I think I'd go the under. I think it's going to be a shit game. 37 is really low. It's like a Steelers over under, but yeah, I think that's what I would touch if I had to touch anything because I do like Drew Lock starting. Malik Neighbors is nasty, um, but both defenses are okay. Even though the Giants got carved up by Baker last week, yeah, I think the under is the play to go for me.
yeah, I don't I think I like the Giants in this situation. I don't know if I'm touching it. Probably not.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
probably hit some couple props. I do think Neighbors have a field day today, so
yeah, yeah.
I think
Same.
Neighbors got to go. CD is always a safe play. He just isn't getting the yards he used to, but he
Yeah.
he catches a ton. He gets a ton of targets. I think there's a lot.
Hmm.
If you can lock in, you can find some sneaky TV score props. I was just looking at
Yeah.
crafting something up. I was just looking at. I think maybe I might play something on Wandell Robinson to get in for the Giants.
Yeah. I know.
Catch
Hey.
in the slot there. I think he might be able to score maybe like a slot fade if they get near the red zone.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, if anything, it's a props game.
Yeah, like
There's
I said,
nothing.
you're not really watching anyway. You're kind of napping it out. So
Yeah, yeah. So, and then we have the Packers and the Dolphins at the end of the day at the 8:30 slot. They got Green Bay on ESPN bet at 3.5. The over under is 47.5. I think it's the Dolphins. I think like I'm feeling the Dolphins. Like I know it's a
I'm with you here. I like the Dolphins.
yeah, no, I like they talk shit about them playing under like in cold weather. I think Tua ever since he's been back,
Every week I
he's
look, I'm always on the Dolphins. Every
yeah,
day.
no, they
Yeah,
he has something to prove. Like I don't know, I don't think they're like in the past. I really think they were like a diva team that couldn't play in the snow or in the cold rather. But I think I don't know. There's something about them this year that I think that because like if they win this game, I think they're only a couple games back to even make playoffs. And I think the reason why it's 3.5 is that the Packers, it's at home, but also the Packers absolutely destroyed the 49ers last week, but the 49ers had no one playing. So I think last week was kind of a fake, kind of a dud. I think the Dolphins are red hot, and I think I'll take them to cover. That's something I'm actually going to bet. Like,
Yeah, me too. Like kind of exactly like you said. I also think with obviously Tua's had his injuries and his health quite a problem, but when he's on the field, this Dolphins team is legit on offense.
yeah, their defense isn't lacking either. They have a pretty good defense. So I like Jordan Love. Like people want to talk about how like good he is and things like that, but the dude throws a lot of picks, throws a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
So he's very inconsistent. If you can really, I think the key to the game is if they stop Josh Jacobs. If they stop Josh Jacobs, I don't think. I think the Dolphins will come out, and I think that I might depends on how the rest of the day goes. I think I might spread some money line action on them. But
Yeah, kind of like you said, definitely taking the spread, and if I have a good day, I'll
mm.
double down with the money line.
Yeah. So all right, that's Thanksgiving. Um, we have a Black Friday game this year. I don't know
Right.
how much I feel about it. I think it's a little bit of overkill, but hey, it's football. I'll watch. It's the Raiders versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs are minus 13. Over and under is 42.5. They announced, I think AOC is starting for the Raiders. It really doesn't matter who's starting. It's all three quarterbacks are awful. I think they're looking for a QB in the upcoming draft. But I'm probably not going to touch this game because my mind's telling me the Chiefs are gonna beat the shit out of them, but my heart's telling me that the Raiders are gonna keep it close.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm with the Raiders. If I were to bet it, I don't know if I will. Probably not, but I like the Raiders to cover. Again, I think the Chiefs just win games. They don't really care if it's by the
yeah,
skin of their teeth. So,
yeah, I
and
don't.
I think you kind of saw last week with the Panthers kind of showed like they aren't they're definitely deep. Chiefs are obviously really good, but they're not out here to cover. They're not a big cover team here, so
Yeah,
covered maybe twice
yeah, I
this.
know they don't cover big. I know Patrick Mahomes has a crazy record, like a losing record against this like big spreads like this. So
Yeah.
it really depends on how crazy I want to get at 3 o'clock on a Friday. So, but all right. So Sunday slate, we're not going to do all of them, but I'm going to pick and choose out of here. Um,
Yeah, why
couple
don't
of
you
good.
grab like two or three games and I'll grab two or three and kind of just throw them out there.
All right. You got your games? You want to go first?
Give me one sec here. I have one game I want to talk about.
Yeah. How about you? Yeah, you go first, and then I'll clean up the rest.
All right. Yeah, so first game, Bengals Steelers
Yeah, I was
inter,
looking at that one too.
interdivision. Um, I'm a big Steelers fan. I think the Steelers are really good this year, but I think they're kind of cool off. I like the Bengals at home here, minus 2.5. I'll take that on the points. They have trouble sometimes late in games holding on to the lead, so it might not be too
Hmm.
smart taking this, but I think, but Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are playing on another level this year. It's going to be a long day for Joey Porter out there if he's trying to man up
Yeah.
Jamar. And
Yeah.
like T. Higgins came back, and T. Higgins looks just as good. So
Hmm.
I'll take those three lighting up the field any day of the week.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
then I'm gonna go for this Eagles Ravens game. I like the Eagles +3 in the money line. I think the Eagles have a way better defense than the Ravens.
Yeah.
Hurts is a very inconsistent quarterback, but I don't think it matters that much. The Ravens are like the worst defense in the NFL in my eye. Like, dude, they are
Hmm.
stinky out
Yeah.
there.
I don't know what happened. I think it's because like Mike McDonald left.
McDonald,
Um.
I think, was a huge part of it.
Yeah, and then they try to. I believe they have forget his name, but he's the Michigan DC last year. I just don't I don't see like the Ravens have fallen off on defense. They're not good this year at
Their
all.
only good player I see when I watch their games is Roquan Smith, and he's
Yep.
hurt.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that too. I like the Eagles.
And then my other game, I'm going Cardinals Vikings. It's Vikings -3.5, over unders 44.5. I like the Cardinals on the cover here, +3.5, and possibly the money line. I think the Cardinals are a very underrated team. Kyler Murray, I think, is a very good
Hmm.
quarterback that never gets. He kind of just goes without. Just nobody kind of talks about him. He just.
Yeah.
I think he's like a very underrated type quarterback. I think he's good. This Minnesota defense is kind of cooled off, and Darnold's starting to.
Well, they got Danny Dimes, dude. They got Danny Dimes
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but they're putting him at tight end probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
They I do think the Carolinas Cardinals defense is kind of shaky, but I think I think I like the Cardinals here. I think the
Yeah.
Vikings only got two losses, coming off a huge win against Chicago. Like that was a
Yeah.
crazy game. So I think maybe kind of like not a letdown spot necessarily, but just coming off a high win like that in an overtime, I'll take the dog here.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like that. As we talk about this slate, I think there's a lot of short spreads that I think shouldn't be this short. Like I think there's a lot of potential for a lot of money this Sunday.
Yeah.
I've been honestly hitting a lot better on on NFL than I have college. And NFL, I'm like the last week I think I went like 6-3 or something like that. It's been pretty nice, but I like all the sides that you're picking on those. I'll probably ride them with you. The games that I'll choose, I like Seahawks Jets. Um, I think the Jets are just like the Giants. They're a terrible organization. Aaron Rodgers saying people are saying that he has a bunch of injuries and will refuse to go get him scanned. They fire a new person every other day. Um, and the Seahawks are coming alive. Like I'm a Seahawks fan as well, so I'm kind of biased here. But the only thing, like the defense is starting to come into their own, playing well. The only thing that pisses me off, and like you can see it on my Twitter, that it's fucking Geno Smith. Whenever he gets in the red zone, he throws a goddamn pick every time. Like I
I
love
don't know why
Geno.
they just don't run the ball with Kenneth Walker nine
Yeah,
times. Just
yeah,
ridiculous. So good.
yeah. I like Geno Smith gives me a heart attack every game. But I think this is one of these short spreads um, that I think is just too small. Like I think the Seahawks are going to win by like a touchdown or more.
You
So
think
yeah,
that's a good kind of a good point too. Is like Seattle, they got it. That division's shaky this year, so
yeah, they just
you can't drop a game to. I think the Jets here. I think if you want to stay in this race for the first place in the division and in the wild card, you got to go out and beat New York.
Yeah, I think that's the only way any of the NFC West teams make playoffs this year is if you win the division. And we just got a big win against against the Cardinals last week. We play the Cardinals again next
Hmm.
week. So if we take care of that, we'll have swept them. I think we play the Rams at the end of the year. The last game of the season, they won the last one, and we split games with the 49ers, I believe. So, yeah, so these games are going to mean a lot. I think they're going to have to win out. I think they have an easy schedule. I think the only other teams they really play is the Packers and the Vikings. So I think it's a good shot. You can't drop this game. Um, Another game that I'm looking at, which I don't know why it's this short. Like it might have changed, but from the last time I looked at it, but Bucks versus Panthers. I think the Panthers had a great game against the Chiefs, but I don't. I think they're still the fucking Panthers, and they're only giving the Bucks 5.5.
Yep,
Um,
that's what I see
I'm
right here.
yeah, I'm a Baker fan. I know you are. He's he's a dog.
Lights out this year, and he is just playing great football, dude.
Yeah, no, he's just a dude. Like
Happy to
he's
see
just
it. Love to see it for him. Can
yeah,
always cheer for him. He's just a guy everybody roots for. So
yeah. No, I think again another short spread.
yeah,
Um, the Bucks are going to stop them. The Pan I feel good that Bryce Young is having a good couple games. I think he's finally I think them benching him was actually good for him. But
I don't
yeah,
know
I
if I
think
saw this and saw them play the Chiefs last week and barely sneak out an L. So they're really like, oh shit, the Panthers are decent.
yeah.
That's what the
So
book said for us.
I think it's a little overreaction by the point the point spread. But yeah. So I'll take the Bucks minus 5.5, and then my last game. Let's look for some of these short spreads. I'm in between. I'm in between the Chargers, the Chargers versus Falcons, and the Titans and the. I'll just do both.
Yeah.
So Chargers and Falcons. Um, Chargers -1. Uh, I like the Falcons. I like Kirk Cousins. I think they're playing well, but something about that Harbaugh team. Like if Quentin Johnson, I think he dropped a pat that big 30-yard or 40-yard bomb on. I think what do they play on Monday,
Yeah.
right? Um, he dropped that bomb, and I think if they got that, obviously the game would have been a little bit closer. I'm high on the Chargers. I think they're playing real well. Um,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
he's
the Chargers are good. Their defense is really good. They can play ball. They can definitely play some ball out there.
yeah, no, I think if you just hand the ball, I think it's gonna be a big running game, from versus Bijan versus J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why I'm actually on the other side. I like the Falcons. Dobbins is out this week.
is he
Dobbins
really?
got a
Well,
sprain.
that's
Yeah.
news to me. Well,
I am.
fuck it.
I'll be taking the Falcons on the 1.5 in the money line here.
All right. Well, good research on you, brother. I don't know. I think they
I'm
can
surprised
still.
this line didn't move for the Falcons.
Yeah, that's why I was
Dobbins
like,
is
it was
like their
minus.
whole offense sometimes. Herbert's really good, I think, but Herbert's been doing well. But
All right, well, that's probably going to be a game time decision for me on Sunday. But I really like the Chargers. I think they have a chance to. I think they're going to make playoffs this year, and
they got a good
so
record. They can
yeah.
do it.
So then Titans and Commanders. I don't know. I think I'm. It's 5.5 minus 5.5 for the Commanders. Over under 44.5. Um,
6.5 up on FanDuel. That's what I see it as right now. So,
what do you say?
I got it at 6.5 right now on
Okay,
FanDuel.
so even more. I think that's good for me because I think I'm going to take the Titans here.
I like
I think their
Titans.
defense is good. If Will Levis doesn't have a Will Levis game, um, I think they keep it close. I really I love Jay and Daniels. He's had a great season so far, but I think they're kind of fraudulent. I think they had an easy schedule. The only team they've beaten with a winning record now is the Cardinals, I believe. So I think that Titans defense is really good. They keep them in games. So I'm gonna take the Titans to cover.
Yep. I'd be on the same side with you if I end up getting to that game, I'll be on the same side. So
All right. You got anything else football wise?
nah, the rest of the games are kind of
Yeah,
stink.
they're kind of shitty. But I as I'm looking at those spreads, I'm like, holy shit. I might put a lot of money down during on Sunday. Um, but you ever been watching any college basketball?
A little bit. I am the worst better in college basketball history. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
think
I haven't.
it's just not worth. I think I'm stopping for a while, maybe till later in the year. It's bad out there. I just can't. I don't watch it enough, I think, to really understand what's going on. So I'm just out. I just
Yeah,
see lines and just pick them.
I haven't. I haven't done anything. Yeah, I haven't done my homework on it at all. I know it's feast week this week. Um, but no, I haven't been watching shit. Um,
It's
I'll
just
probably
horrible.
start back up like right before March Madness. I've been stuck on the 55 locks, man.
Yeah.
55 straight days of football, posting those bets on Twitter. Yesterday was the first day without any football. We did actually did pretty good. I did like I ended with a 52%
Yep.
win rate. Not too bad. Um, yeah, nothing crazy. Other sports. Bruins suck. They fired their coach. Um, Juan Soto is going to leave the Yankees. It's think he's going to the Mets.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, or the Red Sox, bro.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. You liked him. You liked him. He went in and said, "Hey, Boston's where I want to be. That's where he's going. Call my shot."
Wants to win a World Series. You ain't doing it in New York.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that's about it. Um, do you want to do winners, losers, and suckers, or
Yeah, we can do it if you want.
uh, my winner this week? Um, it's a 12-team playoff. I really like it. It's the perfect year for it. It's been fucking chaotic. You have upsets every fucking week. Um, I think people say that it would be hard to have a 14 playoff. I think it would be kind of easy this year because there's been only a couple teams that have been absolutely elite through and through. Those teams for me are I'm biased, but Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and maybe like you could throw a Penn State in there or even a Georgia. I know they have a couple losses, but I think but the rest, besides those teams, it's been absolutely crazy. So I think it's a great year to have the 12-team playoffs, and I think they're rumoring to talk about moving up to a 14 or 16 in the next like 2 years. So I like having the tournament. Um, my losers, I think I'm gonna go with Alabama. They had a shot. They had their own destiny. They if they won against Oklahoma and Auburn, they'd be in the SEC championship game, which is wild to think about because I feel like they've had such a bad year. Um, but you went into Norman and got beat by Oklahoma, a shitty Oklahoma team that has a terrible coach. I like his defense schemes are good, but he just really hasn't been winning games. And you go in there and get absolutely blown out. And Jalen Milroe, not a good QB. Like I don't care what anyone says. If he can't run the ball, he can't pass. So I think they're the losers this week. Um, and I think my suckers. I think I'm gonna go with everybody that watched the Indiana game at the beginning of the day and was like, yes. All the I'll go with SEC fans. That's my suckers. They they watch Indiana get pummeled by Ohio State and they're like, perfect. We're in it. We're in it. And then you have Ole Miss and Alabama get absolutely staunched by Florida and Oklahoma. So that's my winners, loser, and suckers of this week. What you got?
One of my winners this week. Bo Nix.
Hell yeah, Bo Lever, bro.
Yeah, I'm a big Bo Nix guy. He's going to be rookie of the year. He's playing great. He's led
Mhm.
him to second in the division right now, so and a chance for getting in the wild card.
Perfect. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, no, he's been good.
and obviously, I think another winner here is like SMU, clinching a first year in the ACC and clinching a spot
Yeah,
already.
that's awesome. Yeah.
So good for them. Losers. Uh, I think like Colorado, I think is a big loser this week. Like kind of
Yeah.
blew their chances to making the Big 12 after that loss to Kansas. Killer loss there. Kind of tanked the whole season to get this hype every year. These past couple years with Dion, I don't know if Dion's actually that. I don't know. I don't know if Dion's good coach. Maybe it's coaching, maybe it's players, but I don't know. You got obviously got a dude who's first in the Heisman for a reason, and
Yeah.
yeah, even though I'm a Genty guy, I think Genty should be first, but he's still Travis Hunter. He's obviously playing both sides of the ball and lights it up on the field. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I see
and then the suckers are. I'm gonna go with the Giants, dude. Like
that.
they're
To me,
just that
so
was like,
mad.
dude, they are just awful. And then getting rid of Daniel Jones and the way you did it, like making him go play safety for you before you get rid of him is like, dude, I
Yeah.
would. What the hell? So
Like,
I think Dable is eventually gonna be out. Like they gotta clean.
yeah, they're gonna have to burn the whole thing down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough in the beginning. I see what they're trying to do, but I don't know if it was the right time when you had obviously they think they pulled the trigger a little early on what they were doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's also just like more to your point, you get rid of Saquon
Yeah.
because you paid Daniel Jones, and
Yeah.
then you fucking you bench Daniel Jones, have him play practice squad safety out there, and then you're like, screw it, we're gonna cut him. And then you have players like I think Malik Neighbors, like after the loss last
Yeah,
week,
last week.
was like it's not the QB that wasn't the problem. So like that now that's like your young star player saying that shit. So yeah, they definitely have to. They got a
Yeah.
lot of work to do.
I don't think it's necessarily Dable either. I mean, obviously, you don't
I think
have
he's a
much.
good coach, but
Yeah, I do. He could be like, you kind of were just talking about Venables. Like, I think those are good coordinator guys. Like, you got those are good guys to just maybe the head coach isn't for them and they can just go like call one side of the ball. I mean, you see a lot of dudes like Ben Johnson for the Lions right now. He's just living his life, doing really well.
yeah, yeah,
And then same thing with kind of like what's his face over on the Chiefs, the D coordinator Spagnuolo.
yeah, yeah. Even what's his name from on the Eagles, DC,
Oh,
Fangio, Vic Fangio. Yeah,
and
he's real good. But yeah, hey, you got anything else, my man?
I'm good. It was actually I thought that went pretty well.
Yeah, no, I didn't think it went. It went as good as we could get it. But I think we're gonna be posting. Try to post every Wednesday, um, late in the afternoon because we both work. But yeah. So that was the first episode of the Hangout. Hopefully you guys like it. Tune in every Wednesday. See ya.